This is everything I dreamed it to be.
You having a good time?
Yeah, I can taste blood. This is great.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? For First We Feast, I'm Sean Evans, and you're watching Hot Ones. It's the show with hot questions and even hotter wings. And today we're joined by Thundercat. He's a Grammy Award-winning funk jazz virtuoso. His latest album, It Is What It Is available now, and today he has his long overdue tryst with the Hot Ones Gauntlet. Thundercat, welcome to the show.
Yeah.
I know that you're an adventurous eater. How are you around the spicy stuff?
Oh man, I like feeling like it's the end of the world, I guess, usually. Definitely like living on the edge. This is really awesome. Cheers, man.
Cheers.
Garlicky. Oh yeah, garlic fresh, no addition.
So, for fans and critics, defining your style has become somewhat of a contortionist sport, a dose of 70s jazz funk fusion with flavors of hip hop, R&B, soul, and electronica mixed in. I once heard a musician say the interesting thing about music is its mixing of the predictable and the unpredictable. Maybe you don't even think about this, but if you do, I am curious. How do you think about towing the line between the familiar and the novel?
I think that's kind of like our job as instrumentalists to a major degree. It's like to find those places, you know. It's like you have to pull from so many different things. I think after spending a lot of time with it, it kind of develops a voice to a certain degree. So it's like I think it's rather imperative to try to find the lines to tie and things together like that. Yeah, it plays a major role in your ability to comprehend and move ahead in knowing what you're able to do throughout different things sonically and stuff like that, you know.
The movie Whiplash highlighted the intensely competitive and isolating experience of making jazz music. Did the depiction of that pressure cooker environment, did you relate to that at all as somebody making music at a young age?
I think the best thing ever is watching an actual drummer's reaction to Whiplash, and it's everything that they aren't most of the time. So it's just genuine, like, man, fuck that movie. Like one of my favorite ones ever is like JD Beck is like one of my, you know, he's a good friend. He's a younger cat and he's kind of up and coming. And I would like to imagine somebody throwing a pin at JD or like my older brother. You may get hit back with a drum or something. Drummers are like kind of primitive every now and again. You get like Fred Flintstone and Barney Rubble over there. So yeah, no, not over here on bass. No, we just have fun. Bass players, I feel like the whole idea is that it's actually quite the opposite. I feel like everybody just sleeps with the bass player.
I knew you'd like that one.
Yeah. Really nice.
So with the possible exception of T-Pain, you're the most cartoon-obsessed artist I think that I've ever met in my life, and I thought that your Gochi Gang appearance was really interesting, particularly the conversation around anime's recent coalescing with pop music. What are some of the standout ways that you've seen anime's influence on the music industry at large grow or evolve over, say, the last decade?
Literally, Lil Uzi's one of his last songs was Sasuke, you know, it's like, it's getting pretty blatant at this point. You know, it's like, you don't have to hide it as much. I feel like back when I was younger, it was one of those things where it was more like a nerdy thing where it's like, you know, everybody, your parents, your girlfriend, was kind of like, what are you talking about? I think one of my favorite things ever is knowing that Megan Thee Stallion is like an anime nerd. So it's like, we're all winning right now. Like all the anime nerds are up right now, bro. It's cool, man.
As someone whose only real job was working the counter at a comic book store, what's the most underrated manga in your opinion?
The most underrated? Underrated? Berserk. Berserk is pretty volatile and pretty crazy. And you know, it's like I feel like a lot of people haven't got a chance to see where that came from. So yeah, Berserk would be one of those ones.
Pound for pound, what do you think is the all-time best cartoon theme song?
That it goes between two for me. There's two. Actually, three. there's three. It's hard.
Take three.
It's hard. One is Goof Troop. The Goof Troop theme song is like epic. The Mighty Orbots, which is like this 80s one. Some moments in this stuff, you could just tell that they wanted it to be so amazing. So yeah, Mighty Orbots, the Goof Troop. Oh, Chippendale Rescue Rangers. When you listen, you're like, I don't know what it is that I like about it. And it's like, oh, it's because you like all the modulations and the different progressions that are happening there. You just can't pinpoint it, but it's like it sounds like Michael Franks wrote it or something like that. You know, it's like some really intense changes. All right, Shaquandas. I was looking at this one earlier too, because this time I'm gonna douse it. I don't care. Damn, this whole table's gonna be covered in sauce. Damn. There you go. Mmm.
Right away.
I like that. Mmm. Mm-hmm. Mmm. That's good.
Of all the musical instruments that you own, is there one that you'd consider your holy grail? Like one that has more sentimental value than the rest? Is it that original Ibanez?
It's a bass that was handmade for me by Mike Tobias when I was like a teenager. And it's like you could see a person's reaction. It's like, whoa, wait, and they have to start turning knobs and trying to figure out what to do because it's like extremely powerful. And every once in a while in the studio, I have a moment with somebody and be like, man, that bass is awesome. I'm like, yeah, this is the one, you know? It's like, this is the one, you know, so. And it's like, it kind of stays with me everywhere and stuff too. Oh.
Sometimes I'll talk to professional musicians who say that they have a hard time winning over curmudgeonly Guitar Center employees. Do bassists ever have to deal with that same kind of like in-store street credit test?
Oh yeah, no, it exists. It definitely exists, you know. But I don't think there's anything wrong with a little bit of, you know, that healthy like competitive spirit in certain respects, you know. It's like art inspires art. But yeah, no, I definitely have my fair share of getting called a guitar player or like, you know, that's not a bass. Basses have 4 strings, and it's just like, well, that's why you work at the store and I'm the one on stage. It's like, yeah, you don't want to get into a serious battle with that stuff because then, like, you know, they may go out and slash your tires at the end of it. You know? Here we go. Goat sauce. I like that, kind of sweet.
Mm-hmm. Little more like smoky and barbecue-ish compared to the other ones.
I like when it's got a little sweetness to it like that, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Nice, good setup for the burn, you know? I like that.
So you've described yourself in earnest as being the same person now as you were when you were a kid, which so far with this interview, story checks out and will keep the theme going on this wing. As a lifelong video game junkie turned musician, how important is a game's soundtrack to the overall gaming experience to you?
That question right there, sir. It is so important. Like Super Mario and Zelda, Contra, or like Sonic the Hedgehog. It's one of those things that's like the note choices and stuff like that. They're so important in certain moments, you know, and I don't ever think they should be washed over in just the nuances of how we do stuff now where it's like it could be cool. But that's what makes a video game amazing. This last Mario Kart was fantastic. Soundtrack was amazing. It's what will keep you there. It'll keep your mind ticking in the way that it should be, I think. Halo, you know, like Halo's soundtrack has always been ridiculous, you know?
I've heard you talk about Halo's soundtrack and describe it as absurdly amazing. Like, what makes the Halo soundtrack absurdly amazing to you?
The composition, the orchestration, you know what I mean? Everything from the intro to like the moments where they're having the talks and stuff like that. It just feels good. Like the movement of the different progressions and stuff like that. It fits, and it's a perfect taste of what the game is, you know?
Your song Fleer Ultra, it sounds almost like something that you'd hear in Time Splitters or Dynasty Warriors. Is that video game color that I hear in your art, is that intentional or is that just something I'm hearing?
Oh, it's definitely all part of the DNA, man, at this point. Like, I remember there's been a couple of times where I'll even talk about it, where it's like me and my brother would fight over the TV when we were younger because he would want to watch the Zildjian Drum Day video, and I would have Sonic the Hedgehog sitting on, like, without it on pause, and he would think that I was just kind of, like, sitting there, like, doo-doo-doo. But it was like, I was listening to the music that was happening because it would feed into that part of my brain that was processing melody and harmony a lot of the time. It's all intertwined in the way I process melody and harmony and stuff like that. Like, I still listen to my old video game soundtracks. You know, Sonic the Hedgehog 3, that's like the hardest soundtrack to find in the world. I don't even think they made a print of that, but like, yeah, I still, like, this is still a big part of my processing. This is you guys' sauce right here. Let's go. Mmm. 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 I like this.
You're not just saying that?
No, I'm serious. This is good, man. This is real good. I just got a vibe, man.
All right, Thundercat, we have a recurring segment on our show called Explain That Gram, where we do a deep dive on our guest's Instagram, pull interesting pictures that need more context. So I'll show you the picture. You just tell us the bigger story. First things first, naked jam session with Mac DeMarco. Was this his idea or yours?
It was like middle of the tour. I think we were in Texas. It was hot, I don't know. And it was just, I think Anderson was on stage and we contemplated going out on stage naked too. But yeah, it felt like the right time, and we just sat there, and it was like, you know, pulled the guitars out, and it was like, oh man, this is great. You know what would make this even better? Just getting butt naked. And it was like, that's not a bad idea. And the best part, I think we were sitting next to a trash can, so it was like two naked bums playing. But it was fun. It was fun as hell. You know, it's just, we sat there for about an hour just talking about life naked. You know, I think he had his hat on.
What stands out to you when you think about meeting Stevie Wonder? I think this is at Dave Chappelle's Dayton benefit last year.
That was a genuinely awesome moment. They hand him a mic, you know, and I don't think people fully realize he's in the room yet. So we start playing All I Do. While we're playing All I Do, you know, he starts going into the song, you know, all I do. But you know, it's like everybody's turning up. So it's like he literally just changed the lyrics to like, keep on talking shit. And I was like, what the hell? I was like, I looked at my brother. I was like, yo, Stevie is going off right now. Again, another one of the better moments in life where it's just like, you know, realizing Stevie Wonder is a black man from Detroit. Yeah. I would be surprised if he always had the pistol on him. You know what I'm saying? Very little vinegary.
So you get a lot of due credit for your music, but one thing that I think goes a little bit under the radar but shouldn't be understated is many of your songs are quite funny. Let me ask you this, as someone with a foot in both worlds, can you give me a musician who you think could make it as a professional comedian, and then a professional comedian who you think could make it as a professional musician?
Okay. Immediately there's two people that come to mind as two musicians. I feel like I always got to add an extra one to it. Like one for sure is Erykah Badu. She's like Bugs Bunny. Like she's just out to lunch. She's like comedy. And the other one that comes to mind, and I feel like we all would definitely agree with this, is Vince Staples. Vince Staples is absurdity incarnate. To this day, I have yet to find somebody that has that amount of observation. You know, Dave plays piano. He doesn't talk about it a lot, you know, and one of his favorite things to play is like around midnight. So I'm always like, anytime he comes in the room, I'll, you know, try to nudge him into getting into it because I know his mind's there and he's like, stop. He's always singing. He's always got a tune. But yeah, no, I mean, there's many examples. Like one of my favorite ones ever is like Chevy Chase. Like, I don't know if you know, his piano skills and singing are like stellar. You know what I mean? It's like he's an amazing pianist and musician. Or Jeff Goldblum with the keys, you know, he can rip, you know what I mean? Like for real, you know? I mean, everybody knows the Steve Martin moment, you know, he's like, you know, he's a banjo out of his, you know, just, it's a cool dance, man. It's nice to see that, you know? This looks like it's gonna be bomb too. I'm ready, let's go. Okay. That's nice.
Still at a comfortable level for you?
I love it. It's pretty good. I wish consistency was a little thicker. Yeah, that's how you wind up with a hot sauce for cologne.
Damn.
When it's all loose like that, you accidentally get it on your neck and I smell like bourbon habanero ghost pepper.
So as I understand it, the only real job that you've ever had was working the counter at a comic book shop where you were paid half of your wages in store credit. Now that you're on to more lucrative endeavors, what is like the rarest or most expensive piece of superhero memorabilia that you've added to the shelf?
Ooh, it's either the first appearance of Iron Man or the first appearance of the Incredible Hulk. You kind of wind up having to do battle for pieces like that. It's a different type of investment for sure. Not everybody notices it, because it just looks like a wall full of comics and stuff like that. It's like, but every now and again somebody be like, wait a minute, is that the first appearance? It's like, that's the first appearance,
And then as a Marvel obsessive, what do you think of the MCU movies? Are you into those, or is it more just about the comics for Thundercat?
I have my feelings. I have my ups and downs about it. It's like, they do a lot of meshing of weird parts of the comics together. I did have my qualms with Avengers Infinity War. Where's Silver Surfer? Like, seriously? Where's Galactus? Nothing? I don't get any of that? All right, cool. The sequencing that they have with like the fights and stuff like that, like that's like chef's kiss. It's like, I watch the Marvel Universe movies to watch those fights. I couldn't see them played out any better than the way they do that. And big shout out to Disney for doing that, because that is the saving grace. I feel like a lot of these stories, when you get to see them fight, when you see Iron Man fight, and like Thor, like it's everything. Captain America and Black Panther, the way they show that stuff, I love it. I love it, man. I genuinely love it. It's that part where I have to go to the hospital. Yep. I like that. I recognize that pain.
Yeah. Me too, all too well.
It's going right along with this year. Right along, fits right in there. Feels like eating nail polish.
I'm hiccuping. I'm hiccuping all.
You're hiccuping?
I'm hiccuping.
This is reminding me, this is all taking me back to 2 years ago. This is horrible, but it's all right. So is everything.
I hope I stop. I don't think I've ever started hiccuping.
Huh?
I don't think I've ever started hiccuping during one of these. And now here I am hiccuping, but I'll try to get through this. I'm a pro.
No, it's fantastic.
One of your early gigs was playing alongside Suicidal Tendencies, which is one of the seminal American hard rock punk groups. What were the pros and cons of coming of age in that environment as a teenager?
Anything from getting hit in the head on stage with a beer bottle to, finding the love of your life in the bathroom stall. I don't know, man. Like, I think it was all awesome. Other than Erykah Badu, I don't think I've ever worked with anybody that supported me more than Mike Muir. I feel like I learned so much from Mike and Dean and Mike. And one of my favorite shows ever was one of the last shows I did with Suicidal. And it was in South America. And the lineup was literally Mars Volta, Suicidal, and Rage Against the Machine. And it's not a festival, it's just the three bands. I remember feeling like, I felt like I was a part of something. That's gonna go through me like a ton of knives. I could feel it. My booty hole is going to kick my ass. My booty hole is going to kick my ass. That's okay though, because it's not okay. This is proof that I need therapy.
Yeah.
I laughed too hard, you're gonna start coughing, man. And
I know, I caught a pepper. I did. You just made me laugh, and I caught a pepper flake in the back of my throat. It was like, eyes popping out of my head and shit.
All right, here we go. Ooh, yeah. This is awesome. This is just awesome. This is everything I dreamed it to be.
You having a good time?
Yeah, I can taste blood. This is great. I like that after the bomb too.
I think everything's a vacation after the bomb.
But it kind of complements the real garlic, the real peppery and garlic thing that the bomb is doing. It only adds a little bit of sweetness to it.
You really get that pepper. It's almost like a bitter apple or something.
Yeah, not too sweet, but just like ever so slightly sweet. Just a smidget sweet, smidget sweet. Tiniest of sweetness.
So I'm intrigued by what seems to be a deep and abiding love for bowling. Even reading in an interview, you described bowling's zen qualities. What elevates bowling to a spiritual dimension for you?
It started with Austin. Me and Austin used to sit and watch The Big Lebowski. And by Austin, I'm talking about Austin Peralta. He's like a fellow brain feeder artist and died at an early age. We always used to argue about who was Jeffrey Lebowski and who was Walter. And when he passed, it kind of like, I felt like it became something for me to keep connected to who we were, you know? So I would just go bowling by myself a lot, you know? Like I'd go bowl when the kids were bowling, you know? Or like just hang out at the bowling alley, and then I look up and it became a bit of a normal thing for me. And, you know, me and Mac would go bowling every now and again and stuff. You know, somewhere in there for me, it became a bit of peace. Again, The Big Lebowski is like everything to me, you know? It's like, it reminds me everything isn't so terrible, you know? Ooh, you know, when they put gold on it, means it's, I don't know what gold means anymore. It makes fart noises.
Thundercat, what a ride it's been.
Yeah, man.
Cheers.
Yeah. Cheers.
Whoa. That's different. Very round.
Speaking of round, Thundercat, I want to take things completely full circle here on Wing 10, because I don't know if you remember this. Do you remember the first time we met? It was at the Comedy Store, backstage. Do you remember that? You were rolling with Hannibal.
Was Bill Burr performing that night too?
Bill Burr performed that night. It was quite the lineup. I think like Tom Segura was the headliner, but then at the Comedy Store, it's funny because people can just start popping in.
Yeah, because Hannibal just walked in there. He did a little 15 minutes or something like that too, right? Melanie Camacho, I think, was there too or something like that.
But what stands out to me about that night is when I met you, you were like, hey dude, guess what? I just did the Hot Ones lineup as a way to pregame for a concert, and I just kept running it back and running it back and running it back. And as I understand it, you had some problems. You were maybe not careful around the eyes all the time. I've heard that there might have been a cross-pollination issue with your butthole even. So if you could, now that you've taken on the Hot Ones gauntlet for real, what do you remember about that first experience?
Okay, I think this has got to be, again, one of the funnier moments in life for sure. Me and Zack Fox get all hyped up like Beavis and Butthead. We just do. You know, we've seen some of the stuff. We figured to kick it up a notch. So we got like the 5 million and the 9 million Scoville Mad Dog, you know? And I remember seeing Zack like running around in circles like an episode of Ren and Stimpy. And he's screaming at the top of his lungs, like knocking shit over like a scared cat. He's just like kicking statues over. He's just like running, he's sweating. He's like, I can see the lining around the dust in the house. You know, I think I farted and then my butt started itching. When I got that 5 million pepper sauce in my asshole, I was like, this is either how real true love feels, or this is like the edge of death. So I'm like, you know, everything from scratching my eyes, it's like I've spread it everywhere at this point. Like, it's like I didn't scratch my eyes. I remember I scratched my balls at one point. And Zack is completely almost incapacitated in a whole nother room. And so I'm like, yo, Zack, you know, we're gonna be late for the YG concert. I had went through the whole concert with a booty hole feeling like somebody just gave me old flamethrower to the ass.
Well, I'm happy that you survived, and I'm happy that you survived today's gauntlet. Look at you, Thundercat taking on Hot Ones, this time on camera and for real. And now there's nothing left to do but roll out the red carpet for you, my friend. This camera, or whatever you have going on at that great replica set, by the way. I've failed to mention, but like it looks like you're here in the studio almost. Let the people know what you have going on in your life.
What I have going on in my life? It's a slow process of getting back into it. It's been a very emotional ride, but I am working on some new music. And farting and not saying excuse me and, you know, having awkward conversations in elevators.
Great job, great job.
Hey.
Hey, what's going on, Hot Ones fans? This is Sean Evans checking in to say thank you so much for watching today's episode, and I have a very exciting announcement. We are in the honey game, baby. Say hello to Hot Ones Nugget Honey, our sweetest spice yet. It's perfect on wings, perfect for dessert, perfect in cocktails, perfect on pizza. Let me tell you how we make it. We take American craft gin made in Vermont with raw honey, then infuse it with just the right amount of Pepper X. Then we blend that spicy gin and American alfalfa honey, a delicate, delicious honey that comes from the Wind River Valley of Wyoming, until we finally have a honey that's delicious with just the right amount of kick. If you want to get your hands on the Hot Ones Nugget Honey, November 19th at heatness.com to order. It's sweet, it's delicious, it's spicy. I say, fuck it, get two.